I didn't choose. Yes. Don't get it confused, I'm working, but homie, I still murk it. Come on. We'll never lose.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Easy, aka Fresh from the Barbershop, BK the People's Champ, coming to you live with yet more ass waxery. Actually, there's no ass waxery, and we're not in the ass factory. We're on a boat right now. I'm on a boat, motherfucker. I'm on a motherfucking boat. I got my damn what I got my tank top and my flippy floppies. But you see what she got in her hand? She got her tank top and her flippy floppies. But what she got in her hand is she has a telephone, and that's probably the oldest example of the cloud. The telephone, really, I mean, that's where it all started right there. You make a call, the call goes out, it's processed by servers, creates an audio stream, and both people on both ends can hear it without having to have a direct connection, and you don't have to have all of the equipment there in your house. Some people do have a PBX, and that's fine, but most people don't have a PBX, and even if you do, you may have a cloud PBX. We got that for you, holla at your boy, because we provide those now with my company. But anyway, like I was saying, you don't have a ticket in your house, you don't have a call agent in your house, you don't have a central office in your house. All this equipment is hosted off site, and this is the most bullshit part of the whole intro right here. She's gonna jump, run, jump. She run, we jump, we swim and play. She's gonna run and jump. Even if there was not, even if it was dry, that shit would have snatched this show with how much she weighs and what he's holding on to. It would either pull him overboard or it would have snatched his fucking shoulder out of the socket, or one of his joints would have been completely fucked. But if she even has one drop of spit on her hand, they slip right on through. But that's neither here nor there. What we were back to the clouds. You don't have a central office in your house where all the equipment is there. You don't have all the gateway routers that are there, and you don't have a call agent in your house, right? But when you pick up the phone, you hear a dial tone, and all of that stuff is provided by those things at the central office and the call agent and all that stuff. You press the buttons, it sends that number to the call agent, it asks it, hey, who the fuck is this? It says it's this person. It sends the call to them, their provider, and blah 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 blah, boom, yakety schmackety. They're done. You get a call, but you don't have any of the equipment in your house other than the phone. Think of the cloud like that. The Xbox One and the cloud is going to work just, pretty much like that. You're going to get on Xbox Live. You're going to sign into a server for that multiplayer, because I can't see how they would use it for single player, because they would have to assign a server, like 2 or 3 servers to one person, or 13 servers to one person. They're not going to do that. I just don't believe that they have that many servers. They could. They may. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think that the ratio of servers that they have at their disposal they may have more total servers than that, but the servers that you're going to have at disposal for a particular game, I just can't believe that it's going to be 3-to-1 for people that own that game. It may, but I just don't see that happening. The most practical way to do it would be, everybody in the match. If there's 13 players in the match, they're probably going to, it's probably going to be about 10 to 12 servers, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be a 32-player match that's going to require 10 to 12 servers, maybe even 20. Most times, the servers are going to outnumber the number of people playing the game. That's just how it's going to happen. And what you have to think of is, because like I said, the most popular thing that a lot of people have been going at, my man, they've been going at Iron Wolf for saying that, it's gonna destroy 3 Titans. And it's like, the only thing I can think, 4 Titans, I'm sorry. And the only thing I can think of is, like, it can seem like it might do it, but not in the way that you're thinking, right? So you got to think about it a different way. Like, when you're thinking about computers, you have to change your way of thinking. You can't think speed and power are the same thing anymore. Like, a lot of people think that internet speed is truly speed. Internet speed is not truly speed, or megabits per second, not fucking megabytes per second. Megabits per second are not a measure of speed. It's a measure of bandwidth. It's how wide the highway is. It's how many cashiers are at Walmart. It's how many lines are open at McDonald's. That's what that is. It's how much can be processed at one time. It's not how quickly one packet. Speed, as in terms of the internet, is measured in milliseconds, and that's how quickly it takes one packet to get from origin to destination. And then if it's TCP/IP, you need verification. Oh my God, that shit must have hurt. You gotta If it's TCP/IP, you probably got to get verification. If it's UDP, which most of these games, I think most of these games run off. Yeah, Xbox Live runs off UDP, so they don't need verification. It just sends the fucking packet. If it gets there, it gets there. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's why sometimes when you shoot your bullets on Call of Duty, that shit just drops off. UDP doesn't need verification that the shot got there. It does not give a fuck. And that's how phone streams do too. That's why sometimes you hear somebody talking and it seems like they're fading out because, you know. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about TCP/IP and UDP. What we're really talking about is, like I said, it's how speed and bandwidth are two different things. It's how wide the highway is. So if I got 100 megabits per second, that means that 100 megabits of information can get to me and be processed by my router at one time. They don't have to wait in line to be processed by my router, because my router can process a gigabit per second, right? So it'll never be hung up. The only time that you really see speed and bandwidth really kind of blur the line is when you don't have enough bandwidth. So if you got 1.5, yeah, it's gonna take a long time for that file to download, right? Because only 1.5 megabits per second can come through at a time. But since the highway is wider, when I have 100 megabits per second, like when it gets to you, your computer can't process it any faster, right? It can only get to you faster. So you have to think about it like that. The same thing with the cloud. The cloud is going to be like, the computer has more power. Yeah, more processing power possibly than 4 Titans or what have you, but it's not going to be more graphical. Like, what type of power is it going to be? Not more graphical processing power. A lot of people probably say, that's all the fuck we care about anyway is graphics. Hey, that's fine, but you know, some people care about frame rate. Some people care about a lot of other stuff, man. You know, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Yes, more graphical process, not more graphical processing power, more just computations per second than those could do. So really the comparison that you really would want to make would probably be like better, more, you know, faster than like 4 i7s, which I think Zeph and all those guys, BG and all them were saying on their podcast. And yep, just like Zeph said, you're really only going to be able to take you to use this when you're online. You're not really going to be able to. I just don't see how they would do it and make it so that you could make this available to you offline. I just don't see, because how can you be connected to the server if you're offline? So that's what I'm thinking, like they won't allow you to use it in single player, just because you probably won't need that processing power, and you know, the game isn't going to be dynamic in single player anyway. They could really just, okay, this is the environment you're going to be in. It's a much more controlled environment. And really what you have to think about is, like, these are just thinking, like, think of the cloud like this. It's just a thinking dedicated server, right? So normally when you got a dedicated server, all the dedicated server does is host a match and kind of mitigate bandwidth and you know, make sure that there's no flux. So like if you're at home and somebody's hosting the match and they're on Gears of War and they got 1.5, you know, those packets get caught up and they can't come through. And I'm just damn convinced that Charter has the most fucked up routing on the planet, because I just can't fuck with nobody. When I'm host, people shit on me. I get all they packets, but they don't get my shit. I just get fucked up and I can't kill nobody. If you got Charter, let me know if you experienced that too. But anyway, what I'm saying is that like the packets get to you, or if you got 1.5 or what have you. Hey, I lost my fucking train of thought. Speaking of train of thought, we're gonna go on the trains, which is what I was getting to. You got to think about the cloud much more like this. It's not a supercharger for your car. It's not gonna supercharge your Xbox. It's more like adding engines and brake cars to your locomotive. Engine cars and brake cars to your locomotive. So now you got more access. You got access to the power, but you don't have the power. Your console is not going to be more powerful. It just has access to more power. So what I'm saying is, like, a lot of people are like, well, how can it not be more powerful if I got access to it? What I'm saying is, you got access to it, but it's not yours. So think about it like this: if you put a supercharger in the car, you got access to that power, and that power is yours no matter what happens. If you've got a locomotive and you hook up, you connect more cars to it, and more brake cars and more engine cars, the locomotive becomes more powerful. It can do more work, but it can't. The cab car isn't more powerful, even though the cab is what controls everything. So you have to think about it like that. So that conductor has more power at his disposal, but his cab is not. The lead engine is not any more powerful. So it's not gonna be like, well, yes, now your Xbox is this powerful. No, it's gonna be more like now the dedicated servers are this powerful, meaning that the dedicated servers can now do things like just like we saw with Titanfall. I don't know if they used it or not. They fucking should have used it for the AI, for the bots, rendering the destruction in the environment. And just like when they tell you that even at the very first conference, I think it was at E3 a couple years ago when they told you about the Xbox was going to use cloud computing. I was like, well, they can't really use it for anything other than something that people don't care about. And that's pretty much what he said, but a lot of people probably didn't understand it when he said things that are non-time sensitive. If it's time sensitive, it means like my bullets are time sensitive. I need those shits to hit, and I need them to kill what I'm shooting at. And that's time sensitive. That has to be processed locally, but something that is not time sensitive, it can be processed by the cloud. So I was thinking immediately, I was like, okay, AI destruction and environments, kind of like and that's pretty much what it's gonna be. It's kind of like World of Warcraft, man. Like how you go in, you sign into the server, you sign into a dedicated server, and you get to play the game, and then you got AI. Your computer's not controlling that AI. Their servers are controlling the AI. So pretty much what it is just a dedicated server, a dedicated host that is capable of doing more than just hosting the match. It actually can control and do things in the game. So that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I hope that made it as clear as mud. Like I said, will it help you graphically? It won't help you graphically, but it will impact what you see. So a lot of people probably won't get that. It's this more like, hey, I'm handling these computations on this side, so I can show you more detail and more destruction. But as far as like 1080p to 720p, I don't think it can make that jump. I think it would just really make you not lose frames when you're when you're seeing a whole bunch of shit on the screen, because your local machine is not processing all of that. That stuff is pre-rendered and it's just sending you packets saying, okay, this, and this. Yes, your computer will have to show you. Still are at the mercy of what your Xbox can show you, right? Because all that stuff on the screen, I mean, it does take up some CPU just to show it to you. But because it didn't have your Xbox didn't have to render it, it won't be as bad. So it won't, and it probably won't impact the frame rate. I mean, if they do it right, it shouldn't impact the frame rate. It shouldn't really do anything. So it should just be nice and smooth. And like I said, like a lot of people are saying, it's not really tested. It's not this and that. But I mean, it really doesn't have to be tested. I mean, this type of technology has been around forever. It's just now being used in a different way. But the cloud has always been used to process non-time sensitive data. So I mean, that's nothing new. And if you really take it down to the roots of what he said, then I mean you'll be able to see that it's not gonna be it's not a big leap. It's not a big leap of faith. It's not gonna make your personal Xbox any more powerful. I can say that 50 times and people won't believe it. Your Xbox will not be any more powerful than it is now. But you will have access to the power, and it may seem like it's more powerful. It'll seem like it's more capable of doing other things because those things will already be done. Think about it like this. If we're doing a group project and I got a genius on my team that knows math, he can do those math problems, and math problems will be done, or all four of us get one part of the math problem to do right. Okay, and then we get finished with the math problem even faster, and we get the answer more quickly. But that doesn't make me any better at math. I'm not any smarter. I just got access to people that were able to help me, and we did it more quickly. Think about it like that. That's pretty much what the cloud is gonna be. It's just a bunch of helper locomotives. It's a bunch of just a bunch of things to give you a hand. If you're using YouTube, you're using your email, you're using the cloud, man. YouTube can process all that stuff at once, show all those videos at once. Damn sure ain't making your computer any faster, but you got access to that power because of the cloud. But anyway, man, I talked too much already. I hope I made that clear, and if I didn't, well, fuck it. I'm talking from the perspective of a person that this is what I do every day. And I might sound ridiculous because I do this shit every day and I know better. But hey, if I do, I really don't give a fuck, man. I'm gonna go back to what I do, and I'm gonna watch some streams and chill out at work while I'm here because I'm working from home. Then I'm gonna go play basketball, and I'm gonna go lift some weights and get my arms bigger than Rev. But anyway, I'm out of here. Till next time. It's your boy Jay Easy, aka Fresh from the Barbershop, BK the People's Champ. Holla! I see you, Fist.